Nice.
Here we go.
It's on here.
Again, my name is Walter. I'm the co-chair of the Senior Action Committee. I think we have a quorum now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think the motion to start the agenda.
I'll make a motion to start the agenda.
Okay. And someone seconded it? Second. Don't have minutes because we had the senior action, but we had the so that's gonna, we're not gonna do the minutes. So start at 11:10 a.m. The meeting starts, so no minutes, so we're gonna forego minutes. Okay. Can everybody's on board there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Yes.
We have a guest speaker today, Ms. Alexandra. That's what I'm gonna say, they're not Spanish yet. Alexandra George Warren from the Department of Transportation Outreach, am I close enough?
Correct. Safety, education, and
Both, okay. Safety,
education
and
and outreach.
outreach.
What's your name again? Alejandro George Warren. Alejandro.
You're on. Oh. You can come up if you like, yes, the people can see who you are. Just press that button, yeah, thank you. Morning, sir.
Hi. Okay. Come sit there when I see you.
Yes.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
This is my co-chair, Carlton, but he's supposed to invite you.
Safety, education, and outreach. Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my utmost pleasure to be here to address you. It's really nice to see everyone on Zoom. We have all come into the 21st century, which I really enjoy because it means that we can get more participation, even though persons are unable for whatever reason, not able to make it in the physical. So good morning and thank you guys for having me here. As I said before, my name is Alejandra George Warren, and I'm from the Department of Transportation, Office of Safety, Education, and Outreach. And what my office does is that we evangelize safety in city streets. As everyone knows, DOT is responsible for making the rules of the road. So when we say rules of the road, people start asking us, oh, so does the subway have a problem with this? No, not the subway, the road. Anything above ground. So we're talking about all the street furniture you see, the lights, where we set up city bikes, the curbs, any of those special things you see on the street, DOT is responsible for. Now, my office is specially designated to speak to everyone in New York City about safety. So we go out into schools, from here through high school, and we talk about safety. We have programs that are designed for the different age groups. We go out into the community, you would see us out there handing out flyers to delivery service, pedestrian drivers. We do a lot of work with the NYPD as far as education. And then NYPD is charged with enforcing the laws of the road. And then we also do programs for seniors. So we come out and we speak to seniors about safety information that is specifically relatable to you. And that's what I'm charged with today. So it's my utmost pleasure because I always like to speak to seniors. Seniors, you guys have put in so much work into the community. You're the elders, you have a lot of good information that you give back to us. We expect your contribution to society, and we also want to make sure that you're here as long as possible while being safe on the streets. So we do not take it lightly that, we have seniors amongst us, and we have a magazine that's especially geared towards seniors that is called Streetwise. I brought several copies here, so if you're passing, you'll be able to get a copy. And it speaks to topics that pertains to seniors and just general information about safety, but it has some really good tidbits and, I like to say reminders because of course, you haven't gotten to this wonderful golden stage in your life without having knowledge. So we're just reminding you of some of the stuff you know and giving you some more information of things that might have been newer. And I also brought this brochure here that's called Get Into Zero. Get Into Zero pretty much is our blanket brochure that covers aspects of safety that pertains to everyone. It's a good little read and it has little tips and tricks again also. And last but not least, I brought some lanyards. Who doesn't like a lanyard? Lanyards are good. You can have a lanyard, put your ID in there, put your Metro card. So that way when you're getting on the bus, if you have your Metro card in here and you have it around your neck, you don't have to keep dipping in your bag, which is another safety feature. It's right around your neck, you just pull it out, put in your card and you're good to go. So if you pass into the office, you'll be able to get one of these and of course a pen, who doesn't love a pen? So now for my spiel on safety as it pertains to your group. We like to tell seniors that, you have earned the right to be safe. Now, New York City has changed in terms of transportation. Now, we have more than just the subway, although it's underground. We have, in terms of transportation, we have the subway, we have buses, we have cars, taxis, and as far as we talk about taxis, we have Uber, we have Lyft. So we have vehicles, but now we also have scooters, electric bikes. We have more deliveristas on the street now since COVID, right? And deliveristas are really the unsung heroes of COVID. When many of us were, trying to stay inside and be safe, deliveristas were bringing food to us. So we value the work they do, but we also do understand that many deliveristas are immigrants who came to the United States, and they may not know the rules of the road. So we have a program that is specifically geared towards deliveristas, where we have like a 10-minute safety PowerPoint on an iPad, and we speak to them about safety, do's and don'ts, like dealing to pedestrians. We give them belts, we give them reflective vests, we even give them helmets, because we need them to be safe, having the knowledge and also with the gear. If they're visible in the night, when we're on the streets, when you're on the streets, it's safer for both them and us, as pedestrians and also for persons who drive. So we're trying to really address safety as it pertains to all New Yorkers, both existing and new, by sharing information. As seniors, we like to remind you that you might be taking medication, and some of the things that, just tips and tricks, just reminders to yourself how to stay safe in the street environment. So sometimes you might be taking a medication that may make you dizzy or tired or lethargic, right? Bear that in mind when you're in the streets, because when you're taking a medication that impedes you having, a quicker reaction. Let's say someone is riding by on a bike or whatever. We try to let people know, like, maybe you need to, first of all, be cognizant of that. Sometimes you force yourself to get something done, like I really need to go to the grocery, but you're not feeling well. So if you're able to get someone to do it for you or go with you, we highly recommend that, because what happens is we've seen seniors out there and you're walking, you're going along, but you're not feeling well. And then you're crossing the street, right? And the signal is changing, but because you're not in your normal self, you don't realize that you've lost grasp of time. So by the time you get to the middle of the street, the light has already changed. You're disoriented. Here are these cars, right? Trying to move on. Some would be patient and understand here's a senior crossing, but we always say to everyone, even the kids, we say, even though it's your turn to cross, it may not be safe to cross. So when the light has changed and you're disoriented because of your medication, we want you to, we know that's a dangerous place and time for you. So we always want to remind seniors to be more, because the sense of how you feel with your medication, and really try to avoid being out there if you can in times like that. Also, we like to talk about clothing. I am one of the fans of dark clothing. I love black.
Yeah.
I love, black is chic. Black is always correct, anywhere you're going, right? And if you're buying a coat, if you're buying a jacket, we tend to get a color that we can use multiple times and not stand out, right? But the problem with black and dark colors is being seen at night. And the truth is that we advocate for persons to be mindful that while you might be doing the right thing, other people may not be doing the right thing, like the drivers or the cyclists. So we want you to be visible. So if you do have a black jacket, a dark color jacket, please wear something bright that helps you to be seen, like a scarf, right? Or a bright colored hat. And there's also on sale there like wristbands or those strips that you can put on your clothing that reflects light. Right, just to be safe. And you know what, even the reflective vest that you see construction workers using, if you can get a hold of that, even wear that. We know people walk dogs and, you know, pets and stuff like that, just to be visible, because visibility is something that's really important at night. One of the things we do when we go out into health fairs and stuff like that is we have these goggles that it mimics when somebody puts it on, it mimics the effect of alcohol. And this is, you would have persons who are totally sober, wearing these goggles, and we say to them, okay, put this on and walk a line, walk straight, 1 foot in front of the next. And they're always amazed that I'm sober. I know I'm sober, but with these goggles, it confuses the mind and they're not able to walk straight. So I'm saying that to say in the nighttime, when persons are inebriated, right? And it could be because of alcohol or any other type of drug, or it could be medication, because we have drivers too, who's driving under the influence of medication, right? I know we have allergy season. Some people take allergy medication like Benadryl, and they fall asleep. The first time I took Benadryl, on the advice of someone, because I had itching in my hands, they said, Ali, you need to go get some Benadryl. So I ran into a corner store, and you know, they sell the little packet with 2 Benadryls in it. I took the board of them. I didn't know, they didn't direct me properly. And I remember my supervisor and I were going from one location to the next. So as I got into the vehicle, the last thing I remember him saying is, I have an uncle. And when we pulled up to the location, I slowly walk. So I'm saying that to say there are persons who are dealing with multiple illnesses, you know, and conditions that may take medication, and they may not see us well. I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just, you know, letting us remember there's things that are happening outside of ourselves. So we try to remind persons to just be as cautious and conscious as possible of what you do in the street environment, because we are dealing with persons outside of ourselves. All right. As far as crossing the street, we've already talked about the clothing and trying to be visible. We also remind seniors that, you know, your gait, your walk, you may have slowed down a little bit for whatever reason. It could have been because of aging, it could be because of injury, right? We want seniors to pay attention to that. And you know, you've earned the right to walk slower, take your time. You've already worked hard, you've already contributed to society, but we want you to walk around New York City safely. So when you're crossing the street, please do not stand at the edge of the curb. That is one of the most dangerous things that we all do at some point in time, because vehicles, especially big trucks, make wide turns. And sometimes when these vehicles are making wide turns, the back wheel of the vehicle that the driver cannot see because he has made this wide turn to be able to get into the lane, it rides the curb. And we speak about this to seniors, we speak about this to school children, and the truth is that everybody does. It's an adult thing, it's a children thing, because you want to be at the edge of the street to cross. But the truth is that it's a dangerous place to be. So we recommend that you stand up on the curb, right, as far up on the pavement from the curb as possible. You're going to have enough time to cross. If you cross, when the light changes and you make sure that the street is clear. Because like I said before, even though the light says it's your turn to cross, you always have to ensure that it is safe to cross. All right, so once you've gotten signal, you look left, right, and around you because we need to make sure that cars that are turning and are coming from behind, then you cross. But please, do not cross if there's already been a countdown and you know you see like there's like 7, 5, seconds left on the countdown. No. And we see this all the time. And you know what? We've all been guilty of it. But is it safe? Everything we do on the street has to be compounded by the question, is it safe? And if you're crossing and you see like they're the medians in the middle, please make use of them. If you know I can get from one side of the street to the median, and then when the light changes again, I can continue. Please make use of it. That's why they're there. It helps to give pedestrians more time to cross. So, being on the streets of New York is really now, you have to be very vigilant because now, like I said before, we have electronic bikes. So no longer do we just have bikes. No, we have bikes that are assisted, motor assisted. So we're doing our part in SEO to educate bikers, whether they're delivery persons or regular New Yorkers, on courtesy in the street, especially as it pertains to pedestrians. And we speak to them all the time about, the seniors. We're like, listen, there's a level of courtesy that has to be shown to seniors. And we encourage bell ringing. That helps to alert someone, hey, a bike is coming, as opposed to just whoosh. And then you're like, you're disoriented. It happens to me. So I totally understand. And we're getting more and more of people turning to bike riding, which is a healthier lifestyle. It's been said that when you start to ride, you add like 6 years to your life. So for those, we encourage it, but we definitely advocate safety. And as it pertains to the seniors, we're advocating courtesy because that is necessary. So we have programs and brochures and literature, especially geared towards riders, telling them get off the sidewalk. Adults are not supposed to be riding on the sidewalk. They're not supposed to, whether it's bicycles or the motorbikes. So we go out there and we educate because, there is that saying that ignorance of the law is no excuse. We all know that. But at the same time, educating people makes them better consumers of anything. And since we all have to share the streets, it's very important that information and education is disseminated, and that's what we are specifically designed to do. So we definitely do that. We have street teams, which we do 3 times a week, and sometimes a bit more, where we go out in the morning period and speak to drivers with the NYPD handing out flyers, telling them to slow down. If you've noticed, the driving limits in most places are 25 miles per hour. Yeah, and then there's conversation about in specific places to lower it. And we have the cameras in the school districts. So there's a lot of information and evolution in the traffic rule that we are really working on to make it a safer place for everyone. And we're very mindful that, seniors have special needs. And this is why we have our program that is geared to our seniors coming out and speaking to you guys about being safe in the streets. and just trying to make everyone more courteous and mindful of each other. Is there any questions that anyone has? Yes.
Thank you, first of all, thank you for coming.
Very welcome.
It's something else you don't think about. You know?
No.
Last week I was in Starbucks.
Mhm.
Elder John, now see, we have to also remind people to walk in the crosswalk, especially.
Yes.
When you step out the street because of the lights and all that stuff, please look both ways. But you
Yes.
see a guy, he crossed the street in the middle of the street, the older guy,
Mhm.
a bicycle, what's the name, the electric bike.
Yes, election.
Bam! Hit him and knocked him down. The guy he didn't get back up. He did, and of course, the bike, I mean, he walked away. But the guy laid on the ground for 20 seconds. When I first called the precinct,
Yeah.
I heard they would give you, they told me all 911. But the guy stayed on the ground. I don't know if he was conscious. I saw the movie, say what he did. That he crossed the street now because as much as you can talk to the fools on the electric stuff.
Yeah.
I just see them sit, and I get the citizen app.
Mhm.
And it's like almost every day,
Yeah.
somebody like, there's 5 cars, somebody hard hit the bike. They're not following the traffic signals, and the rear of both the citizens, I'm just seeing you too.
Yes.
Look like it, I know, look like it. I look like I'm
You look like
born.
a rock star. When I first saw him, I was like, okay.
Yes, I'm a professional citizen now, but you gotta look at both, and then try not to walk out in the middle of the street.
Agreed.
It's easier, but to get to the curb, and like you said, with the countdown
Yes.
clocks, and all the streets don't have them.
No.
So if you see the blinky,
Yeah.
wait, just
Yep.
come in, I've been in and a half, keep your life safe and wait.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk to you about the adjusted pricing. 'Cause that's a whole nother
That's
ball
a
of wax.
but
Yeah, but no, I'm not gonna do that to you.
I want to piggyback on what
All
you
right.
said about crossing the street, because that's very important. And you
Yeah.
know what? We go into the schools and we talk about that, and we ask people, what do you call crossing in the middle of the street? And a lot of people say, well, crossing in the middle of the street, right? Because it's share walking. It's share walking. People forget, yeah, it's called jaywalking. And jaywalking can be very dangerous, especially on streets that has, multiple lanes of traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Where sometimes one, driver stops and tells you, just go ahead, and then the other driver overtakes it. We caution everybody, please cross the crosswalk. There's a reason for that, and do you know that drivers get ticketed for, parking or pulling up on the crosswalk? They're not supposed to do that. There's a line, as you approach a crosswalk, before you hit the crosswalk, that line it gives a certain amount of distance from the cars, from the pedestrians. And when drivers, go over that line, that is considered aggressive driving. So there's aggressions that drivers take while they're driving that is really not, yeah, and it's because I'm not a senior yet. I hope that I am blessed to become a senior. I tell people it's a privilege. It's a privilege to become a senior.
Let me ask you a question. When I was a little girl in the 60s, they had a thing on TV. I don't remember the Stone Crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were, as a kid, I was hearing that all the time. I think should bring that back.
I know, you're right.
It's very beautiful.
Something else they need to bring back is the fact that they used to write tickets on jaywalking. They don't do that. Why make a law if you're not gonna?
Yeah, well, they don't.
California, I think California. And then, I'm just like, I'm here, like, you walking, and then I'm standing, everybody's standing there on the curb, wait, they're all standing there. They said,
That's how they know you're not a
And I'm
Californian.
like, wait, you're like, because you wanna get across, and the streets are empty, no cars are coming, but they don't go until that light turns.
That's how they know you're not
Yeah.
from California. They're very strict about
Yeah,
jaywalking.
yeah.
New York, you're right.
Lax.
They're very lax about it. And then sometimes when you talk to the NYPD, they're like, we know, but we have so many other things happening.
And most of them are in the car.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
Let me just 2 more things, so,
True?
No one in California walks, do they?
well, that's
Yeah,
another.
they still do, not much, but yeah.
I think they're getting more pedestrian oriented, but I just want to ask you 2 more things. Now, my understanding was that there's always enough time to get across. if you start with the green light, and then you're supposed to have enough time. I know maybe with caution, you shouldn't do it, but they say if it's 2 or 1 and you should have enough time with the lights. It's supposed to be coordinated or calibrated that
Right.
way.
So.
Is that true or not?
That is true, but what I will say is that remember the lights, you know, they're machines, they can malfunction. So there are times where people, you know, would notice like the light changes too fast or too slow. And then that's where you need to call 311 and let them know this light, because I remember we were doing street teams sometime. It was cold, so it probably was earlier this year, and we were at Atlantic and somewhere in Brooklyn, and the light it was like taking forever to change, and then drivers started to take their own
Oh,
initiative,
yeah.
and it was scary. It was really scary. Thankfully, we had NYPD with us and they called it in, and there actually were officers were sent out there and they were directing traffic because, you know, people are waiting there to go and the light is not changing. And then they decided, I need to go. And that was a dangerous thing because the light's not changing. Pedestrians want to cross, this one want to go that way. So sometimes there can be a malfunction.
Oh, absolutely, and then there was some kind of brownout, I remember I was working in college. And 125th Street, there was no lights, and it was crazy.
Yes.
You know, that is scary.
Yeah,
But you don't know what to do, we're gonna stay on the block for the next 5 hours. All right, just one more thing now, about these speeding, your food deliveries. They're under their own pressures too, by the way. They're under their own pressure.
Yes, yes.
That's something that really needs to maybe have a more concerted effort by our leadership if they can give it. And number 2, and I won't have any more questions. Do you have anything to do with the broken up pavement in Riverside Park? Talking, that's like a road, but it's just, you know, it got smashed up and I've seen people with walkers and stuff falling on the
Yeah,
pavement.
so I'm not sure about, you know, if a sidewalk is broken up, that is definitely something that should be called, right? Like
To you,
to 311,
3-1.
and they routed to DOT. But as far as the delivery workers, the mayor has taken an interest because during COVID, these guys and ladies, we have ladies who are also universities, they really were out there bringing food to people. There were people who were sick, and that was the only way they could get food. No family, no friends. And some of the restaurants and you know, third parties they were working for with were not treating them fairly. So they coalesced and became a body, and there's really a big effort to work with them, and that's why we have this whole program that's geared towards them, where you will see us literally giving out helmets to them, teach, because it's important. A lot of them come from countries where you get on a bike and you ride. We know if we keep them safe and they, you know, we give them a helmet and they fall, right? Because things happen, right? If they have an accident, they don't, you know, they don't bust open their heads and end up in a hospital, and then it carries up the hospital bills and, you know, that type of a thing. So we tell them when we do these programs, it's not just take a helmet and ride off. There's also an educational piece to it, where we teach them the do's and don'ts of the road, the law of the land, the stay off the sidewalk, do this, don't do that, you're not supposed to do this. Because then we let them know enforcement is coming. So forewarn is foretold.
I'm glad you said helmets, because she brought a,
Yes.
they're giving out free helmets for the month of June and July. I want to turn this over to Eutha so she can distribute this to the general community.
Yes, so DOT, this has been going on for a very long time. We have, during the summer seasons, we have, free helmet giveaways. We go throughout the tri-borough, and then there's also Summer Street. So we give away thousands of helmets every year, thousands of helmets. So if you want to get a free helmet yourself, you can tell your church, you can tell your family, it's all free. Just go on the DOT public calendar and you will see, this here is for the month of June to July, but it will show you all the different events and all the helmet giveaways that we have.
Just going back to the Riverside, so you're not in charge of that walkway in Riverside Park?
I'm not saying we're not in charge of it,
Okay.
I am not aware of
Oh.
what you're
Who
talking
would
about.
I make? Because I remember I was discussing, it's all chopped up, you know, it's. like,
Riverside Park Conservancy, probably.
Take care of the road, I mean, the pavement.
I know I think I know where the fence is, like, I know that there's, on their Riverside Park Conservancy might be the place, because I know they have on their, like, on their list of all the projects that they're gonna invest in, but, you know, to help prioritize it, it might be to advocate to them, is my guess.
Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
You can check with
Yeah, I
them,
would
they
like
can
to find-
always,
yeah.
you know, call up with DOT, but it's always good to go through 311. Because everything in New York City is logged in. You know, Jerry, everything 311, but then you can also reach out to the council member, assembly persons of that area. You know, as much persons, that will speak for the cause is very informative and helpful.
And thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Senior action with all of these fabulous gifts.
Just let us know, just let us know.
Thank you for coming. Oh,
Thank you.
and
Walter?
time-
Before
Yes,
you,
so it's my
before
turn.
we let her go, can I ask a
Yeah.
question?
Yes, $5.
Put on my IOU question. Walter, the pictures that we have of that street and the pavement by 135th Street, have we addressed that with her? Have we shown that to her? I mean, I sent it several times.
Okay, Francine, before the group started, she came in early, and I mentioned that to her. I didn't know she was coming, today to call and introduce the DOT, so I can, now that I have her here, just going to ask her for contact information, so I can send a picture of that directly to her, how's that? Good
Okay,
enough?
good. That's good enough. Thank you.
Phone number you email address. Oh, you have a card, that's good. Oh, that's even better.
My part and the part of.
Thank you, thank you very much. All right.
Yes.
All right, we have a couple of folks here, and if you don't want to speak, that's okay, but I would like to hear from Mr. Agnes and what's going on at George Bruce. You can read just.
Yeah, well, mostly I just want to continue making everybody aware that George Bruce is back open, so we opened on April 15th, so they did a great job with the renovations, we have brand new hardwood floors, they painted inside, so it just feels a lot brighter and more open. But it takes a while, when we were closed for a few months, we find it's always, people think we continue to be closed even after we reopen, so try to help spread the word, stop in and see the changes. We've resumed all of our in-person programs, so we have a monthly book discussion, we have a crochet and chat group, we have chess every week. We have a monthly movie. This month we're showing the new version of The Color Purple. We have a resident playwright, Ceci Davidson, who does theatrical reading. So she's wrapping up her season this year with a performance this Saturday about the life of Harriet Tubman. So I hope you'll stop to check it out. It's Saturday at 3 o'clock. What other programs do we have? We have Computer Basics, so they're one of our most popular. So if you know anybody who needs basic computer help, we do drop-in sessions Monday and Friday at 2 o'clock. So you don't have to make an appointment, just show up Monday or Friday at 2. We also have appointments, you can make reservations if you want one-on-one help. And then we are doing, each year the library does a summer reading program, Summer at the Library, for all ages. So a lot of people think of that as something for kids, but we have one for teens and one for adults as well. And I oversee the adult program. So 18 and up, we have kind of like a reading challenge. So this year we're going to come out with a bookmark with different, challenges of types of books to read. And if you read any of those, you'll get a prize. So like the more books you read, the more prizes you can get. We're going to kick off that program on June 25th. It's going to run for about 2 months. So starting June 25th, you can stop by the library and get the bookmark. And that day on the 25th, we're also doing an art workshop. So a mandala art workshop. So you can learn about, it's like a form of sort of geometric design that you can color in. And one of our librarians is leading that, and that will be the kind of launch of our summer reading program. Yeah.
Yes, just two-part question.
Sure.
One is the hole in the side of the library where the bionet is repaired, and did somebody try to enter into the library?
Oh, so they were, I think is it the side of the garden or the other side of the building? That I wasn't aware of. I know that they, actually, DDC was, concerned about like the structural integrity of some of the bricks in the building, so they took a sample, like they removed some of the bricks and then filled them back in, so I don't think anybody was vandalizing or doing anything to the library, but a few weeks back, they did, remove a sample of some of the bricks to just.
Because it's a nice garden to go through to get to that wall.
Yes.
It's looking real nice over there.
Yeah, they're doing, so, that's actually the grant, so, the garden is actually run by, like, the grant, houses, although we partner with people, you know, and they're nice about letting us, you know, use it for events and things, but, they've done a really great job. But you said there was a second part of the question, or?
No, that was the only two part.
Okay,
The hole and then there's somebody trying to.
I don't think, yeah, I don't think it was any, like,
Good, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
It's still.
I didn't, I'm sorry that I didn't, I can either email you one if you want to give me your email, or we always have copies. And it's, all of our events are also listed on our website, so if you just Google George Bruce Library, the first result will take you to the library's page that has all the events, but if you want to write, write that. Okay.
I'd also like to come and see someone because we did want to do something new. We wanted to do movies, but since you said somebody does that, but I'd
Well,
like to talk to whoever.
Okay, well, yes, I oversee the programs for adults, so that would be great.
Okay.
Like,
What you going to?
You need a
sure, so my email is my first and last name, so William, and then Haggis, Haggis. Thanks, at NYPL, it's a New York Public Library.
William Haggis, all over.
Yep.
HAGGIS.
Yep.
HAGGIS.
Yep. At NYPL, for New York Public Library.org.
Jen, would you?
Like the Scottish.
Like the Scottish food, yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Jen, can you just give a brief overview of what's going on? Introduce yourself, let people know who you are.
Okay.
I'm really, you have so many things. Every month I get your email. And
Aw.
yes. Yes.
Thanks. My name's Jennifer Beiser. I'm the executive director for the past 12 years of Morningside Area Alliance. And we are a consortium that gets together of the institutions in Morningside Heights, the kind of founding nonprofits in the community. So Columbia Teachers College, the Interchurch Center, International House, Manhattan School of Music, et cetera, and the Cathedral. So one offering that, or one of our goals is to promote the public programs available from at our member institutions, lectures and concerts and all of that. And so we have a weekly newsletter published on Wednesdays that it's really a listing, but it's a listing. We try to be comprehensive or exhaustive of every event happening in the neighborhood in Morningside Heights that is open to the public, and almost all of them are free. And I would say maybe at this point, maybe like a third are Zoom oriented or include a Zoom option. So if you could subscribe, that would be great. Our web address is morningside-alliance.org. And we'd love, I would love to send that to you.
Morningside hyphen, what is it? Morningside hyphen?
Alliance.org.
Okay, got it. .org? Got it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The other thing I wanted to announce is that we, or to invite you to, is that we organize the LaSalle Open Street that's on Thursdays from 4 to 9. So I feel like I hopefully some of you have attended. So it runs from May to the end of October. And we mostly, people hang out, they, have dinner, hang out with there's tons for the kids. The kids, it's just like playtime. And so the street's closed. Everyone really seems to enjoy it. And then we also have some like signature events over the course of the season where we really market to, and try to get everybody to come out. One is dedicated and geared towards our neighborhood seniors, and it's coming up. It's June 20th. And it is, I'd love to send a flyer. I don't know if you have like a share screen, but it's I'll drop flyers off as well at the office, the office there. But it's Uptown's Best Ice Cream. So we are inviting our neighborhood seniors to serve as judges of the best ice cream uptown. So there'll be samples, there'll be judging on June 20th, and samples for sale for like we're thinking $1. We're still trying to figure it out. It'll be as cheap as we can make it. But for the judges, it'll be free, and we'll find out the best flavors and the best ice cream in the neighborhood and make a big announcement that night.
Everyone's
It'd be really fun.
Everyone's nodding, Jen.
Yeah, oh, good. And I actually came up with this idea with my colleague Paula from Life Force in Later Years. So, but if you're interested in being a judge, and I really hope that you will, just send me an email, jen@morningsidealliance.org, and I will put you down. But we do hope that you are over the age of 70. To be a judge. So we want really experienced ice cream eaters to participate. So it's valid. I'm a little like obsessed about, so it's at 135th Street. I just looked, DOT has this map where they show the 311 calls or requests that have been made, the cases made. And I don't see, I was just looking at it. I can send a link to you all to look, but it doesn't look like, if it's right at Riverside Drive, that it doesn't look like it's on their list, FYI, of things to look at. So and that is really
No, it's actually on Broadway.
Oh, it's on Broadway. Okay, I'll look at it after I'm done. I'll take a look and let you know if I see it on there. And thank you. And I also have been a volunteer and part of the leadership team for Life Force in Later Years, which I hope and I know my colleagues are there to maybe present. So
Thank you
thanks.
very much, Jen.
Thank you for inviting me, Walter.
And we got you
Okay.
two things ready, so.
Okay.
Yes, so arts and culture, and now, I look at you come on an ongoing basis, because there's so many things, good things that's happening here. Summer
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna move to, anybody else has anything they want to contribute, if they want to say about anything? Francina, anything happening down at Riverbank that you want to share?
Yes, at Riverbank, on the 20th, they have the senior social that's on the calendar. And it's the last senior social until September at Riverside Park, Riverside Bank. We just had a resource fair on the 29th of May of the 3333 Senior Committee. Other than that, we have William on every first and third Wednesday. We have Columbia computer classes every Friday. We have chair yoga every Tuesday from 2 to 3. And we have Tai Chi. So we're pretty much have our calendar full thus far at 3333 Broadway. But at Riverbank Park, it's the senior social that's going to be on Thursday. The 20th of June.
Francina. She's in California, by the way. Is it sunny over there?
No, it's cold.
That's what you get, that's what you get.
I know, I took it with me.
All right, we're gonna go to the old business. The really only thing I want to discuss in old business was the success of the senior action resource period we have. Thank you. She was at the, only thing is, my only bone, and we were thankful up here for having it, was that the people at the tables were, you know, they were just trying to get information, but it interfered with the program, so maybe we can. Yeah, the tables, you know, people were at the tables, and then, you know, the program was going on, and I had to keep telling them to like, so, and it's, you know, I got a big mouth, I'm the biggest mouth there is, so, you know, it's, listen, we tell everybody before you say inside voice, right? But it really was a success, it did a lot of things.
You didn't sing enough.
Huh?
You didn't sing enough.
Well, it wasn't a concert, it was just a program.
I'm looking forward to hearing you sing.
Yeah, well, we can next year. God willing, okay? Alright, so I don't think there's any other old business, and I don't think there's any new business, oh yeah, we're off for the summer. This will be the last summer, I think the calendar went out and said there's a meeting July 2nd, that's, yeah. So we don't meet until, not the day after Labor Day, it's always, anytime it's a Monday, holiday, Memorial Day and Labor Day, we do it the week after. So it'll be the second week in September. This is the last week for the summer, but this group, yes. And I want to thank everybody for coming, I want to thank everybody for information, thank you for all the things that you brought, and, I'll forward you the information.
We look forward to.
Thank you all for coming, and have a great summer.
Everyone has a good summer.
Yes,
Bye,
bye, everyone.
Have a great summer. Bye.
Take it back to Columbia. Bye-bye, get some good information, for sure.